Hello, friends. Molly Ponthadith here, CEO of the SOAR Community Network and co-founder of the SOAR Community Nebula. We are interviewing 1,000 community builders and change agents this year, and we're delighted to present to you Mr. Myron Radio. Myron, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me, Molly.
So Myron, please let our audience know a little bit more about you and the work that you do in the world.
Okay, good. Well, I founded a company of my own called the R Group. The letter R, people think with the last name Radio that's what it referred to. And actually, it's for our target. It's actually helping people, teams, and organizations to improve their results, however they define them. And so I've been doing this now for quite a number of years. Before that, I worked for Mobil Oil. I was lucky enough to rise to the executive ranks there. And when you got to that level, you had two jobs. My day job was running financial services internationally for one of our international divisions. And the second job was we would get tapped on the shoulder to work on corporate initiatives. So new market entries, reorganizations, growing the business, those kind of things. And that's really where I found my passion, Molly. And it was all around helping people perform at the next level by understanding human dynamics. So in other words, what makes a person and what makes them special, and how do you bring that to the table?
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing that. So speaking about what makes us special, were there moments or times in your life where someone really showed you that you were special, showed love, compassion, empathy, did something for you that really changed the way you saw the world or how you live your life today?
Yes, it's funny, Molly, as I was thinking about this, it takes me back to shortly after I began working for Mobil Oil. I was working in the credit department. I had risen to a manager level, and I had people reporting to me. And the credit department at that time was like the wild, wild west. It was loaded with these people that loved to work really hard, but they partied equally as hard. And some of the stories they would tell about one another, you can't even repeat today because they were just so outlandish. One person they talked about was a guy who I'll call Vern Love. And he was legendary in partying. And they all laughed and joked and made fun of him. Well, he had retired from Mobil Oil, and shortly after I was there, you're hearing all of these stories, but my boss calls me into his office and he says, "Hey, listen, we're kicking off a special project and we're going to bring somebody back who used to work for us. I'd like to go to lunch with you, he, and I, and let's just talk about what we want to get done and how we want to go about it." I said, "Great." So I meet this guy, and the minute I met him, Molly, I had this strange feeling like I had never met another person like this. When he talked to you, he was totally engulfed in you. He was interested in you. He wanted to ask you questions, find out what you were working on, what was working really great for you, what challenges did you have? And then after that, he would say, "Do you mind if I share a perspective with you?" And the answer was, of course, yes. And he would take this concept and make it totally related to what you were facing. Well, after lunch, I walked into my boss's office and I said to him, I said, "Gordon, I've never met a guy like this guy Vern before. Where did you find this guy?" And he said, "That's Vern Love." And I said, no, no, I mean the guy we went to lunch with. Who? He said, that's Vern Love. I said, you got to be kidding me. The Comanche that partied so hard? And he said, well, you have to understand something about Vern. He said, he's revered here. And so guys take a piece of the truth and blow it up and make it a whole lot worse than it is, because he's really a special guy. And the one thing that Vern gave me that I now try to give to people is my time and attention, because that's what he gave to me. So if the building were on fire, it didn't matter. He was locked in on me. And that's what I try to do in my coaching practice today
That's
when I'm with
fantastic.
my client.
Hey, that's what you do when you mentor us as well.
Ah,
We've experienced that firsthand. So thank you, Myron, for that. When you think of a change agent or a community builder, what characteristics or attributes come to mind for you?
well, for me, it's somebody who, and again, maybe this is my view, but somebody who's very results focused, but also who gets those results through people. So helping them to see the benefits, understand the challenges, work through those things, and get to the other side.
It's fantastic. What causes do you care about, Myron, that you use your gifts, talents, your skills, and your life lessons to help pay it forward? Can you talk to us a little bit more about those causes that really resonate with your heart?
Yes, thank you for asking that. Um, Today, I'm at the point in my career where I want to develop the next generation of leaders to be able to lead the right way. And so today, I do some mentoring of rising leaders that I find on the street. But when I connect with them, I could tell they have something special and that they're in a place right now where they're not using all of their gifts. And so I do that on a pro bono basis for those kind of people. And at any point in time, I have about 3 to 4 people that I'm mentoring, and we go through cycles. So in the course of the year, it could turn out to be 15 to 20 people.
Wow.
But that's how I give back.
Thank you so much for doing that. You are a good mentor.
Thank you.
You really are. You're an excellent mentor. So let's talk now about a philosophy or a motto or a quote that really speaks to you and empowers you to keep going, keeps you motivated in life.
Yeah. So one of my favorite authors is Og Mandino, and he wrote The Greatest Salesman in the World, and it's not about sales, but it's about a philosophy and a way of living. And he tells wonderful stories about it. But in there, in his work, he points out that everybody, every human being brings something to the table that's totally different and unique from anybody who has ever lived in the past, who is living today, or who will live into the future. And so for me, it's all about helping people discover what makes them special and then leveraging that, using that to achieve whatever they want to achieve. So,
Right. Myron, what does a better world look like through your eyes?
better world right now. There are people who just the tension is out there, the fighting. People think that if they make themselves look good, then they're going to be good, and they will. But you can't bite at other people's bubble. You can't take away from other people. So a better world for me is where people talk about what are we trying to achieve and how can we leverage each other to be able to get there. And in that process, there's give and take, as there is in life with anything that you're shooting for. but leveraging those people and feeling really good about your accomplishments together is what's really important to me.
Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us, Myron. We really appreciate you personally, and I know that the viewers watching will also want to connect with you and get to know you a little bit better. What's the best way for them to do that?
Well, to check out your website, because for the SOAR Community Network, we have a number of programs that are out there so they can take part in those programs, see that way. And then also the second thing is by going to LinkedIn. And there's a lot of feedback that people have given about me working with them so they can learn about me that way. But also I publish a lot of articles that are there and they're all free. And it's all about helping people, teams and organizations get to the next level.
That's great. And what Myron was referencing is that he is one of our incredible experts that we work with when we go in and help with strategic corporate direction, team alignment, team building, all the wonderful things to help more conscious leaders elevate the entire organization and their people. So Myron, thank you for that plug. Didn't ask for it, but I appreciate it very much, and we appreciate you. For those that are interested in learning more about Nebula and becoming a change agent member, or if you would like to nominate yourself or someone in the community that's doing some really good things that we could feature, please visit nebula.soar, that's SOAR, communitynetwork.com. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this interview with Myron, and thank you, Myron.
Thank you.
Have a great day, everyone.
You too. Bye-bye.